and gaming. We'll take your phone calls live, 877-853-5247. The meeting ID is esportsXTRA. That is 377-678-9872 at the pound button twice to join the show. Larry Ridley here. SMY TV, little NBC Sports, little Mad NFL, little NBA 2K League. Got the Broskis and the queen of Esports Extra on the show. A little small gaggle today. What's up, folks? We'll go down to, we got to start with the lady first. We got to go down to H-Town. She was once hot at Hampton. No, she's still hot.
Hey,
So that's out there. Just so that's out there.
Caliente.
So that's out there. But yeah, I was young and hot. You know, you gotta get it.
I'm a hot girl. I do hot
You
on an outfit. Yeah.
gotta experience life.
Putting sis out there like that, man.
It's terrible.
Hey,
Look.
she wasn't Little Caesars, man.
Yes,
All
now there was no ready behind it, but I
Right.
guess you gotta
No ready.
you gotta experience life because nobody wants to marry somebody that hasn't popped yet. Like a pop in the middle of the marriage is a whole breakdown. So
If you look at it like that.
yes. I knew I was fine. He knew I was fine. So like I didn't realize that, 5 years in, like, oh, I'm fine. Let me go see. So
Oh, let me go
we're good.
figure this thing out. Okay, let me go test the waters. Put the little toe in the pool. No, don't do that, Kelly. Don't do
I
that.
got enough water right in my own house.
Exactly. You're a good
my
girl.
grass is green.
You're a good girl. Go to church. Like what did Ray Charles say? Go to church. You're a good girl.
Now Ray Charles was off the chain though.
I
So
Oh, I know. Coach K is
moving
my
right along.
yeah. Kevin is my Ahmed. Coach K is my Ahmed back there. OG. Speaking of hot, you hot out there in Ohio, all right?
Yeah,
Getting hot?
man. Yeah, well, shoot, it's actually getting pretty. It's
I'm not
chilly.
talking about the weather. I'm talking about you. You being hot in Ohio?
Oh no, I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling. I actually was on the phone with somebody before the show. She was telling me I need to chill out on Facebook.
I don't have you on Facebook.
He's
Hold
being
on.
hot.
Well, we need to change that.
Okay.
I
yeah.
actually was looking you up today, Kelly.
I don't think Kelly's be on Facebook either.
Coach K, you hear that? I was looking you up on Facebook. I like
Well,
it.
not on Facebook. No, I was actually doing my research. You know what I mean? 'Cause I'm about to have her on the. I'm gonna have her on the show.
Oh, that's right. The
On the
podcast.
Me?
Yeah.
That's right.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
your podcast is major. Like there's some heavy hitters on there. So I mean,
Yeah, well, I need to add. Well, I'm adding one more heavy hitter.
Oh,
There you go.
gotcha. Boom.
There you go.
Got it.
Absolutely. D-Dubs, Brooklyn, got a little rain over here in Jersey. Is it raining in Carnoustie?
Oh yeah, Canarsie is definitely raining outside. Yeah, a little bit of drizzle outside.
Good
but,
stuff.
hey, can't complain.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive in. Let's try to get out here at 8 o'clock. We're talking NFL last night, Monday Night Football. The last two MVPs going at it last night. Patrick Mahomes, don't call him Pat. Mama will get mad at you.
Mama.
Hey, I was here for sis.
I was. Of course, Pat Mahomes played with the New York Mets. Went through the same deal with Mitch Trubisky. Remember, his mom was like, well, I prefer Mitchell. So I've always called him Mitchell. Mama called him Mitchell. I guess I'm going to call him Mitchell too. So I never say Mitch Trubisky. So it was good to see Mama Mahomes tell the assembled media last night and the world. I get my son's name right. Earl Thomas was supposed to be in Houston today. I will tell you what happened there. It did not happen. He was supposed to have a workout there. NBA Finals tipping off tomorrow night. We'll get into that. Doc Rivers, we'll talk about that. Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, not really into each other out there. Not anything new or anything that is groundbreaking here, but some new reporting on that about their relationship. And I don't know. The Sixers going to continue to trust the process and trust their relationship going forward. LaMelo Ball, LeVar Ball. We'll talk about LaMelo Ball showing a little cojones, if you will, telling his old man he's got his thoughts. I've got mine. We saw, the first ball brother. What's his name? Not Melo, not LeVar, not
Lonzo.
LiAngelo. Yeah, Lonzo Ball. Dang, all these balls, man.
I ain't touching it.
Juggling all these balls. Yes. Sweaty balls, as they would say on Saturday Night Live. Major League Baseball playoffs, they are underway. 4 games today. A couple of them are already, one is in the books and one is underway as well. Got the Yankees coming up here, actually right now. First pitch is supposed to be out there in Cleveland coming up. Stanley Cup champs. Finally, the best team in hockey won it. I've been talking about the Tampa Bay Lightning for 3, 4, 5 years. Finally got it done last night, so the best team in hockey won it. OBJ, Dr. Disrespect, big stream last night. We'll get into that. I want to get you guys' thoughts on that. It seems like everyone in the streaming world is starting to do what we've been talking about the last 2 or 3 years, which is cut all the foofiness. Nobody cares about the gamers. Get some of these entertainers in here and make it fun and enjoyable for all of us so we can get out of this bubble and break out of that chain there. MCS Club Series. You have to sign up by last night. We'll talk about the deadline with that. The most important Madden Championship Series throughout the year. Usually $250,000 up for grabs there. You have bragging rights. It's I guess you could say the Madden Bowl is probably the biggest one because it's the last one. But this is definitely the most money. We'll get into that, and also some things that we'll talk about tomorrow about FIFA. They're doing something with their series now. They're taking a page out of Madden and some of these other books where they're going to have a lot of influencers and celebrities playing in that. And then Compete Forever episode 18, Black News Channel this weekend. We'll talk about that. It was a really good one. It was the Fall Series Championship, I believe. Last November, we gave away tickets, VIP tickets to the Patriots game, and it was great to see a family from New Hampshire win those tickets. We'll talk about that and show you that. It was a really good tournament as well. $2,000 on the line. Some very good games. All right, let's start. Chiefs, Ravens, Monday Night Football. Matchup of the last two MVPs, 2019. 2018, you had Patrick Mahomes. 2019, of course, you had Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, I believe, has lost 4 regular season games, 3 of them to Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes and the boys look good. Score was 34-20. Really never was that close. You had the kickoff, and then the Chiefs turned it over like on back-to-back series to actually let and allow Baltimore to sort of get in the game and get within a touchdown or two, but it was really never in doubt. Mahomes well over 300 yards. Lamar Jackson, look, I love him. This is going to be those things, it's going to be one of those deals where we talk about it's like those running teams in college football. What can Georgia Tech do? What can Air Force do? What can Army do? What could my boy, Amon Green and those vaunted Nebraska Cornhuskers do if you take the ball out of their hands and get a lead and make them come after you? Can he throw? Less than 100 yards last night. Want to get you guys' thoughts on a Monday Night Football. Patrick Mahomes looked like the best player in the NFL, although right now, Derwin's boy right now leading the clubhouse for the MVP with 14 TDs and no picks, 4+ touchdowns in the first 3 games. Kelly Wells Brinkley, your thoughts here. Monday Night Football, how was Patrick Mahomes able to get the best of Lamar? And are the Ravens, is that their kryptonite, which Lamar Jackson said the Chiefs are?
Said that, yep. The Ravens looked like like deer in headlights last night. They just looked stuck. They looked like like they just look stuck. It was so perplexing because I'm a fan of the Ravens. I'm a huge Lamar Jackson fan. So to watch him look so frazzled every snap was very disheartening. Patrick Mahomes looked phenomenal last night. His accuracy is amazing. The way that he play calls on the line, he is so confident to be so young, and I love to see that. And then to read that he just learned how to read defenses like a year ago, and
Halfway through the year.
yeah, that's a thing, and that's a whole nother subject that I will touch on another time. But he looked phenomenal last night. I think that the team looked strong. Their play calling was phenomenal on the defensive side and offensive side of the ball. Ravens had nothing, and to see that they did fight back and to get within like a touchdown in like what the third quarter, it just the score was not indicative of the play last night. It looked like the Chiefs ran away with it. But they kept giving them little things to like let them hang in there and hang in there, but it just wasn't enough for Lamar to ever capitalize on any kind of mistake that the Chiefs made. So it was sad. I was
Uh,
really sad.
Yeah, it was tough. I do think the Ravens did show some fight, but that was the number 1 defense in the NFL, and the
Mhm.
Chiefs had 27. Should have been 28 at the break at halftime. Chiefs kind of sat on the ball a little bit, took the air out, and you should with the lead. Chiefs easily could have scored 40 plus
Mhm.
last night
Yep.
on the road against the best defense in football. D Dubs, are the Chiefs going to represent the AFC back to back years in the Super Bowl? Sure looks like it.
They got enough weapons to do so.
I'm worried about my Patriots, that's for sure. I mean, I don't believe in moral victory, especially when you've gone to 9 Super Bowls in like 19 years. But man, if they can keep this thing within a touchdown, you'll probably feel the same way after they left Seattle. It's like, hey, we kept it close.
Yeah. But last night you saw once again the reason why I'm not drink. I've never really been drinking the Lamar Kool-Aid because stop him, really stop him from running and make him throw the ball, what do you have? I mean, he's young, he's electrifying, he can do a lot of damage with his legs. But last night, that was a playoff game. It might have been week 3. That was a playoff game. Both of those teams know that they can see each other again. They have a history with each other in this short, early careers of both quarterbacks. And if you're the Ravens, you have to walk away from that game going, man, we couldn't do anything with these guys. We're supposed to be the number 1 defense, and they had 27 at the half. We didn't really slow them up at all. And then, Lamar, 15 completions and a playoff type atmosphere game, that's not going to cut it. He's got to be able to throw the ball better. For what I see from the Ravens, and even I saw it last year, other than Hollywood Brown, I don't think they have a lot of team speed, and he was non-existent last night. And the Ravens' best weapons are the tight ends, and it's Andrews.
Absolutely.
So he's a beast.
Dropped the touchdown too, and they have to settle for a field goal. But they were still behind like 17 points. It really
and think about this too. Kansas City doesn't have a great defense.
No.
But they stepped up to the task.
Last night.
Yeah, Spag had those guys playing.
And Spags is my boo.
Yeah.
He is my boo. Like,
and they got Jones and they got Clark. They can get some pressure at times.
They can get some
you can
pressure.
block them, you can throw on them for real. I mean, my boy in the second is probably the best corner, Traverse Ward back there. But from Middle Tennessee. But yeah, you can definitely throw on them. And Honey Badger's paroling the safety position back there. OG, you jump in here right now. You look at Lamar Jackson, under 100 yards passing, had about 80 rushing, so about 170 yards total. But right now, his kryptonite is Kansas City. Why? Because you get down by 14. All that tricking and all that running, who cares? But I think that they panic at times when they play Kansas City because they're always chasing points, which is you can still run the ball because that's what you guys do. Your guys can get chunks running the ball.
Yeah, the thing about it, look, I think it becomes easier to game plan for the Ravens because he lacks weapons. Like you say, you talk about the tight end. I mean, typically the running quarterbacks, most of the time they get blessed at least to having a decent tight end. But when you start looking at their 1 and 2 receivers, they're not what I would call major threats. I think the defense has carried the Ravens more than often than not, throughout their entire success as an organization. So I mean, I think they ride a lot on that, and then whatever they put up on offense it tends to be acceptable, which is the opposite end with Kansas City because I think their defense overachieves because they know that they have an offense that's going to go out there and put points on the board. And I think if obviously if you play football at a high level, is that when you on defense and your offense is coming off the field consistently putting up points, it's going to make you want to go out and get stops and make plays. And I think that's where Kansas City benefits from having a dynamic offense. The other thing about it is Andy Reid. He's always been good at putting together good offenses to me. I think he's made the best with a lot of underachieving offenses at times. And now he has, Mahomes and all the weapons around him. I think it's just showing that, I mean, it's typical Andy Reid on offense and the defense is just showing up and obviously it's making them look like the team to beat right now, but in the AFC. And I mean, like I said, I've called it before. I said that, I'm rooting for Mahomes and them. They go, they go back to back. I mean, he's definitely he ain't taking his foot off the gas, not one bit.
Well, it was 13-3. They got the long kickoff return, 90-something yards to make it 13-10. I still feel like Baltimore, you haven't done anything to make me change my mind on this game. Y'all haven't stopped the team in the red pants and the white jerseys. They never did in the first half. And the Chiefs went ahead and got that thing rolling and got away with a 2-touchdown victory. Got New England this week. I don't see a whole lot of teams that can beat them. Look,
no,
I don't think
that kid, what's his name, Edwards-Helaire, like
Hilaire.
he
Clyde
is
Edwards-Helaire.
a dog, dog.
Unless
He runs through defenses like he makes them look like Swiss cheese, and that's just a whole added thing that they didn't even have last year. And to watch him, like they could not stop the run last night at all.
Well, it's hard
That's
because
scary.
you got all
That's
those weapons
scary.
on the outside.
Yeah.
You can't stack
Yep.
the box. You don't want to be one-on-one with,
If
Mecole Hardman.
if
and
Mahomes
those
can
guys.
come out and turn around and hand it off to the running back, it's over for a lot of
Exactly.
teams.
A lot of teams.
And think about that. They lost Kareem Hunt. They lost Shady. They still got Williams and those guys. They don't have great running backs, but this rookie Clyde Edwards-Helaire is doing a great job for the Chiefs right now, number one team in the
And
NFL.
it's not gonna serve these teams doing any good playing like with the two linebackers in the middle. Like you're gonna need that three, especially when you play the Chiefs, because like
Can't,
he will run it up. He will run it up
can't.
the middle
Man,
without fear.
might be
Without
there.
fear.
It's over on the
You
outside.
can't, and now you. Yeah, I mean, you got to be light in the box, and that's why great offenses do that. If you look at what the Chiefs did last year, remember they were behind the playoffs like all three
Mhm.
times,
Yep.
especially in the AFC division around the championship game. There was no pen. They were down 20-0. Light box, run it. Take your 4, 5, or 6 yards, move the chains, and that's what they're doing. So, and then if you want to go ahead, have a heavy box and have an eighth man in the box, good luck with that. Good luck trying to run down one on one with Tyreek Hill and Miko Hartman and those guys. And Sammy Watkins, the slowest of the bunch, and he runs a 4.3. People forget that. He's the slowest and he runs a 4.3.
And I love the
Uh,
tight end. Travis Kelsey's my
yeah,
guy. He's
yeah.
got sweet feet. I like to watch that guy play.
It's
Salt
not.
Bay.
Um,
It's not there right now.
Salt Bay. Yeah.
yeah, and remember Tennessee last year had the Ravens down, and the Ravens were trying to play catch up with Tennessee, and it doesn't work. Ravens are the kind of team they want to play with the league and be able to
Sure. That's
run
how
the
they're built.
football. Run the football. That's how they're built. They can't do that with Kansas City
But
because
to be
Kansas
fair,
City's
go ahead. Go ahead. But to
no
be fair,
Kansas.
most teams
Go
like the
ahead.
front run. Even New England, when they had the
Mhm.
high-powered offense, they average 30 plus. They like the front run so they can at least make the defense not to defend the run, and it's just easier to defend the pass and just sort of pin your ears a little bit. But go ahead. You're right about that.
Yeah, but yeah, with Kansas City, you just have to kind of run with them. It's going to be really, really hard.
You have to score
There's
with
not
them.
too many defenses that's going to slow them up from getting 21 to 28, 30 points a game.
Look at
You
what it
got
took. The last time they lost in the playoffs, it was New England in overtime at Kansas City 2 years ago in the AFC Championship game. What did New England score? 30 plus. You're going to have to score 30 plus to beat them. You're not beating them 17-14.
and
You're
you
just
And
can't
not.
be you can't go
their tempo is
yeah.
so high.
Yeah.
They're just physically in shape. Like that makes you very unbeatable when you can outplay someone.
And you
Yeah.
can't go 3-and-out either. You can't
No.
you got to give your defense a rest and I mean, Lamar Jackson, he's got work to do. He's got to get better. He's
You
got to
need
be able
you
to
need
be
a team.
serviceable from the pocket.
You need a team like New England used to have a problem with, like a team like Baltimore can rush with four, good
Mhm.
secondary, and play
Mhm.
keep away. You need to control the clock, the time of possession, and keep the ball away from them. We'll see if New England can do that this year. I don't think their defense is as good, but they do still have a pretty good secondary. Can they get Cam and those guys 10, 11, 12 play drives, shorten up this game? You can't give the Chiefs like 10 possessions. It needs to be about 7, 6 maybe, and then control the time of possession. You're going to probably have to control like 35 minutes of the game, or you're going to be in trouble. So we'll see what happens.
You're gonna have to run. I
Yeah,
mean,
you're going to run.
you might the game plan
Or
this
you
week.
can control it with the short passing game like New England did 2 years ago. You can do that too, but you need to possess the ball.
Well, Edelman? I
But
mean,
and New
you can
England's
try
not
to
built that way. Exactly. New
well,
England,
you
they're
can
not
try to
built that way
take
anymore.
Edelman away and make one of the
Yeah.
other receivers beat you, but you might see this week. You might see more Cam runs. You
Yeah.
might see more of that this
You're
week.
gonna have to. You're gonna have to because New England's not built to throw. Seattle secondary is a little. I actually think their secondary is better than Kansas City's, but it's a
Mm.
different game. You don't want to be, like you said, trying to throw the ball. Cam's not the most accurate guy. It's not like it's Brady back there. Short control passing game. I don't want to see Cam throwing the ball 40 something times. If he's throwing it 40 something times, they're behind.
Mm.
That's what happens. They're behind, and we don't want that. So we'll see what happens next week. Earl Thomas, the former Raven, we're just talking about the Ravens, was supposed to have a workout. They were talking about it's pretty much a done deal. He was going to go down there to the Kelly Will's hometown, or the town that she lives in right now, the hometown, the town that
She's
she
a
resides in
Virginia
right
girl.
now. Exactly. Um, then they pulled it off. They were talking about maybe COVID-19 concerns, but he was one of multiple safeties they were going to bring in. Bottom line, he did not come in today. They canceled the trip for Earl Thomas. You got surprised that the Texans aren't bringing him in. Look, they need some defense. That's for sure. They got some issues on defense. What are you guys' thoughts on Earl Thomas about this thing? The about face happened within basically 12-hour span of time. Last night, oh, it's done deal. He's going to sign with the Texans today.
Texans, yeah.
Then he didn't even show up.
I mean, are we surprised? Has Houston done anything right in the last couple of years when it comes to business decisions?
Yes, they lost the first 3 games and made the playoffs. So that's one question, just like they did this year.
I mean, for Earl, he's a former Seahawk. He's going to go in the Ring of Honor in Seattle. I would like for him to find a home. He's from Texas, so I know he likes Dallas. But I was happy for him if he get to go to Houston. But for what I'm reading, it's either been postponed or I read something that says it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So
Or at
I'm
least this
hoping.
week. Yeah, at least this week.
Yeah, I mean, they can use all the help they can get in tech with the Texans on defense. Try to, JJ Watt needs some help. So that team, that team can use a guy like him, some back leadership there. So I don't know. I hope that within a week or so, after this whole mess with COVID and the Vikings and Tennessee blows over, that they can bring him in.
Yeah. OG, your thoughts on here? Earl Thomas, man, still out there, available after the little dust up with Clark, the safety, out in Baltimore. Here's a guy that's a former Pro Bowler that's still out there and available to anybody.
It makes you wonder sometimes, like a talent like that. I mean, even though where he's at in his career is like, why isn't anybody snatched him up yet? I mean,
We know what it is.
I mean, it just, I don't know. It's just it's not that many people performing at a high level right now to not pick them up and have them on your roster. So it completely doesn't make sense to me at all. I mean, and anytime I see that in any sport, when you see it, like even as long as like Carmelo Anthony had to wait until, luckily he found a situation that seems perfect for him, and hopefully, he does the same thing happens with Earl. But it's just it's crazy because, like I said, it's not a lot of defenses. It's a lot of teams that need help, and I think he can provide some of that.
Yeah, Kelly, you look at Earl Thomas had to dust up the fights with the safety out there in Baltimore. You heard some, and you see this players. You've seen this with your husband probably. When you're out the door, teams will sort of talk crap about you, tell about all the negatives that have happened. You heard some talk that he was freelancing last year. Maybe he's lost a step. Maybe he's not as good as he once was. So some of that probably is playing into this to the situation with Earl Thomas right now. What do you think, Earl Thomas the third?
Um, Athletes, players have to be very careful about their conduct from team to team, because you saw there was the act outs in Seattle. Then there's, fighting players. And yes, now teams and players fight all the time. It happens in the locker room and we never find out about it. But we're also not living in that era
Do you
anymore.
think his play? I think it's boiled down to look, your play is not matching all that nonsense,
But
all the barking right
I've
now.
seen good players also still get the, hey, we don't want to mess with it, because if teams are already not having success and then you bring a cancer into the not success, like that's even more of a what show.
Do we know if he's a cancer or he's just his own
I
man?
mean, but if, hey, look, when you work for somebody, you have to walk the guidelines. Like in whatever whoever you work for, you have to play within those guidelines. And if you appear to be a cancer, if I can call and be like, "What's up with him?" Oh, well, don't you remember that video where he gave the whole sideline the middle finger? Like you have to be careful of these things. You have to. Yes, we are
Well,
emotional
Seattle
people.
deserved that too. They didn't give him his
Hey,
daggone money and he
look,
broke his leg.
Hey, hey,
hey,
hey, hey,
hey.
hey.
Seattle deserved that
We're
one.
not talking about
Hey,
Seattle.
Y'all
I'm not
deserve that.
saying that they didn't, but I'm also saying that that's an act out. And you have to be very careful of that, because if even if you feel on the inside that you are right, there you have to control your conduct. You have to control your emotions, because that is what a professional athlete is expected to do. I don't think that he is a bad athlete. I would love to see what he can
Oh, he's a
do
great
and
athlete.
where
Yeah.
he is, right now. But I mean, we think he's a great athlete, because you honestly don't know where he is today with his athleticism. He's been injured a good couple of times, so you have to, like, we don't know exactly where he is. I would love to see it. I think it's unfortunate that maybe his reputation is following him, especially in a time of COVID, where if I'm a team owner, a coach, I could blame not bringing you in right on COVID and keep it pushing.
Derwin, your thoughts? This is your former team.
Mhm.
Does the play still match sort of the issues that he might have off the field and in the locker room? I think that's what a lot of this is. Am I reading this right, or just that because clearly he's a talent that teams can use out there. There's a
Yeah.
lot of bad teams out there.
Has he lost a step? Probably. But just to piggyback to what Kelly was saying, let's look at the last year. He has an incident, with his wife,
Mm-hmm.
hotel room, with his brother. That went down. And now John Harbaugh and the Ravens, they sent him home For them to send him home, and
To the
Mike, and this
crib.
Pete Carroll said this, for them to send him home, that's not good. And I remember Pete said this when they asked him about them sending him home. So he's, his reputation right now is probably not at its best.
Mhm.
And some of these teams are probably weighing that. Here's a 30-year-old player. Can he still play? Yeah, he can still play at a good level, but is it worth it? If you're Houston, I say, what do you have to lose? Because it's not like Houston's been making a lot of good decisions anyway. Period. They need help. Defensively, teams are just running through them. I think that he can help them, but if ownership feels that he's not worth the headache, I could see them passing on him. But for some reason this week they thought about it. They scheduled a meeting with
It
him. I
was.
don't know. I don't know what changed that meeting, but I just hope it all works itself out, and I hope he's able to get another job.
Never heard from the Texans, but it's one of the two. It's either, maybe we don't like this, or hiding behind COVID-19. And the league did send out a memo to the teams today about following protocol and bringing in free agents and people off the street to sort of take a look at those players. So we'll see. We'll see about Earl Thomas. We'll come back to this. I got a feeling he's going to be on the team, but if this thing lingers into weeks 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then it's like, okay, it is what it is now. Earl, they just it's a reputation thing, and I think you're absolutely right on that. NBA Finals, real quickly. Let's talk about that tomorrow. Game one of the NBA Finals: Lakers, Heat, LeBron, Pat Riley, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler saying, "Yeah, we ain't underdogs." I don't think so. Do the Heat have? I think we're all in the Lakers. Do the Heat have any chance to push this past five? Yay or nay?
Yes. Yes. Come on. Let's not
You, you
selling
think you
that
Yeah.
think
short.
you think it's going? You think it's going past five?
Yeah, I
It,
think so.
it can. I mean,
4-2.
I didn't say can. I said is it?
I will go out on a limb and say yes, because Miami's going to fight. And
Yeah, they
if
will.
the game is close in the fourth quarter, you don't know who's going to hit the big bucket to steal one. It's not like you can't take one from the Lakers. And give the Lakers credit. They've pretty much knocked down everybody that's been in front of them, like as they should. They are the favorite. Now, the Clippers are gone. But this whole last couple of weeks, the one thing I kept thinking about that's been running through my head is where the hell did Eric Spoelstra come from? He's this coach for the Miami Heat has had a really nice career for himself. Now getting back to the finals again, and he's won it twice.
Mhm.
So they got a shot. A. Willie was here. I know he would talk about the history between the Lakers and the Heat. Pat Riley being on the other side now, and that's a nice little story that we're going to hear about in the next couple of weeks. But you know, that team plays just like Butler, the way his personality is, and they got a young player and hero hitting big shots, and Bam, they got a shot. They definitely got a shot. So I can see it going six.
Okay. OG, what do you think? Does this series go past five?
Yeah, I think so. And kind of what Derwin was saying is that, I've called the Miami Heat pretty much like they're the hard hat, blue collar workers, and it's a pros and cons to it. I mean, they don't. When you look at the Heat, you don't come in saying, They don't really have one or two players that you're going to game plan for. Like, I mean, really, because the style of play and how they play, it doesn't really, it doesn't resort to that. With the Lakers, you got LeBron, you got AD. That's pretty much the two focal points of the team, and then everybody fills in and play their role after that. But with the Heat, they do it by committee, and I think that can be tough. And I think overall, pending the way they've been playing, that they have an opportunity to outplay the Lakers' second unit. And I think that's what can be key in the series, because if you have to keep AD and LeBron out there extended minutes and extended time, I think that it can be good and bad. But I think that's not what the Lakers want to do. I mean, I don't think they don't want AD and LeBron having to play, especially LeBron playing extended minutes to each and every game throughout the series. And I think the Heat, they're young. You got Jimmy Butler leading the way. I mean, and inspiring a lot of those young players. But I don't think fatigue or anything like that is on their side. I think For me on the outside looking in, it's like a happy to be here type thing. But I know that's not their mentality. But they wasn't supposed to be here. Like I
Right.
mean, so I think they have enough to keep it interesting. The key to it is you have to make shots because the Lakers are going to dominate the glass. If you can make shots and defend and at least keep the rebounding close, I think they can make it real interesting.
Kelly, will they go past five? Look, the Heat have two of the best players. They have two superstars. The Miami Heat have one decent star. They have two superstars. The Miami Heat, I don't even know if they have a star.
They
Jimmy
don't.
Bucket, a pretty good player. He's right on the cusp of maybe being a star, but the Lakers have two superstars. Superstars only reserved for like the top 10 players in the league. So, how does this thing go past five?
When you have a young, hungry team, they are dangerous. When you have somebody that has been counted out, when the media has all but
Well, when you
thrown
have
the
two great
confetti,
players, you're dangerous too.
right? But you can't get caught sleeping.
Mhm.
You can't get caught slipping, and the media has all but given the T-shirts and the hats and the confetti
Mm-hmm.
to the Lakers. So when that happens, that is prime time for a young, hungry team to just keep chipping away, keep fighting. And if you let a team like that hang in there and hang in there and hang in there, and then they come down to the fourth quarter and they drop the hammer, then, that is a very dangerous team. And if you think back to the Lakers, their last series, a lot like what was it, two games were won at the last shot. So that's a toss up of a game. So you can't count out anybody, especially when teams are there to lace them up. You don't know what's going to happen injury wise. Like 6 game stretch, it's a toss up. So I'm looking forward to some good basketball for sure.
We'll see. If you look at the Lakers, if you would have told me this going into the playoffs that they'd get a hobbled and beat up Portland Trailblazer team without Dame Lillard the last game or two, you get the Rockets, that would be your toughest opponent. You get to avoid the Clippers, you get the Nuggets, and then you get the Miami Heat out east. I would have said
Mm.
crown them. They're going to win it. This might be the easiest championship LeBron will ever win. Literally,
Yeah,
it's
and,
definitely
and
easier than the first three.
he better not screw it up for his legacy.
I know
I,
it.
I
It's
was
I
gonna
like
say
still,
that
he can't lose this.
Wouldn't that be terrible?
yeah, I saw a picture the other day, a cartoon where LeBron was chasing something, and they thought he was chasing this trophy in the cartoon, but no, there was a goat running. And I remember I made a comment. It was on Facebook. I said he's never catching that goat.
No, he ain't getting that. He ain't
He's
getting
never
that.
catching that goat.
Nah, nah,
But there's two
nah.
things that we need to look at in this series. Game one is vital. If Miami could take game one, it gives the whole team so much confidence. And the fact that Miami has an NBA championship coach that can kind of guide them through this.
Hmm.
Those guys that have not been there before. They've never been there before. They got a coach at Eric Spoelstra that can help them navigate through this, and Pat Riley. So we'll have to wait and see, but it should be real interesting this series.
Should be Lakers though against the 5 seed. Like this is just it's right there on a platter, man. Like boy, they can't screw this up. We'll see, man. I hope like hell that the Heat fight. I don't see it going past five. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that I can come over here and say, man, I'm so glad that I'm wrong. But man, this looks like a Lakers romp. I'm sorry, guys. Doc Rivers and the Clippers parting ways. He and Ballmer. Um, where do you think he'll go? And are you surprised by this? We know that the Sixers, maybe the Pellies. I like the Pellies. I think that'd be good.
yeah, I think in between
Yeah.
either one of those two, and that I know we're gonna talk about Embiid and Simmons later, but like just having a coach like him that can relate. I think Doc has been one of quote unquote like one of the most coolest coaches in the
You go to Houston,
NBA.
coach your son too.
That's I mean
But they
that's
the way they're built, that's
yeah,
not
like I
man.
think
Yeah.
like they let D'Antoni and all that. They I think they set Houston back for some years. Like I mean, I don't see them recovering from going to this small ball and things like that. But I think Doc that'd be good for those young stars that's coming up right now. Especially, I mean, really, I like the Pelicans. If you start looking at cores and production with Ingram and Zion gets healthy and different. Like I think they've done a good job in putting themselves in a position where they have good young talent and they have some time to groom them right along with some sprinkles of veterans in there. So I
I was
think
about to say I need some pieces here.
yeah, I think Doc would be a good starting point for them, on the sidelines.
Does he
not
want to
going
rebuild
forward.
though? That was part of the problem. They left Boston. It's like, I've basically been one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the league for 4 or 5 years now. We rebuilt before we got good. I'm like, I don't know if he wants to do
Where
that
do
anymore.
you go now, though? I mean, pretty much all the.
Philly.
I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at Simmons and Embiid. They looking like young Kobe and Shaq. Like
Exactly.
that ain't won nothing though. Like I mean,
Yeah.
so it's like that. That's tough. I mean, and then too. I mean, let's be honest. Until like Ben Simmons becomes a perimeter player, like that, it's gonna be hard for them to coexist anyway. They both clogging up the paint.
Yeah, it's a tough fit. Kelly, D-Dubs, y'all get in here, man. What do you think, man? Doc Rivers, surprised that Clippers let him go. I'm not totally surprised. It was a bit. It was. I don't want to say shocking. It was a bit surprising, I guess, because look, Doc Rivers has blown multiple 3-1 leads. The way they went out, the lackluster play in that game 7, no fight at all.
Uninspired.
You know how it is in the world of pro sports, right? They're not firing all the players.
Right.
So the coach has to go.
No,
It made sense.
I wasn't shocked at all.
They
I
said
knew
Steve Ballmer actually called some of the players, and I don't know if that was enough to
Oh
save his job.
wow.
Yeah.
yeah, I knew there was going to be a shakeup. To have all those pieces into play and to play like that and to look like that, I knew something was coming, and you can't be like, well, F all them, we're getting them out of here. So there's only one option, and it's sad because you really like Doc and you want to
Love
like
him,
him a lot.
my guy.
But and he was given the keys, like here are the keys.
And then they took
But
those back. They
yep,
took that away
they
from
yeah.
him a couple of years ago. Yeah.
So what do you like? I knew it was coming for sure. It was sad, but something.
Well, we saw that was part of it. When they stripped him of, being the GM as well to be able to, pick all the players and things of that nature. Basically, shop for the groceries and do the cooking there. D-Dubs, your thoughts here on Doc? Any surprise there that he was let go or parted ways with the Clips? And where does he go?
Not surprised at all.
Okay.
Thought it was deserved.
Wow.
It needed to happen.
Wow.
But
Deserved,
I love.
huh?
Oh, I love.
It was the choice of words with Derwin. Like,
Yeah.
He's a
I
bum.
love-
Get his ass out of here.
No,
Yep.
I didn't say that.
That's how it sounds.
that's how it
Don't
sounded.
put
No,
words
that's
in
how
my
it sounded. No, that's how it
mouth.
sounded, Derwin. You said, well, deserved.
Yep, well,
It
okay.
sounds how
Not
I said
surprised.
it.
He's
It
a
was,
bum. Get
it
his
was
ass outta
deserved
here.
from
Yep.
the standpoint
Yep.
of you cannot have a
Don't
team
stand
that
in
was
the
put.
unemployment line, Doc. Don't nobody care.
No,
That's how it sounds.
Doc's phone is ringing. He's gonna be okay. Trust me. I ain't worried about Doc.
Well, make sure you say that next time.
But you ain't letting me finish. You cut me off.
Because you said it, then you just let it sit there.
Anyway, it was deserved from the standpoint of you can't put a team like that together, be a favorite, and be in the second largest media market and get bounced in the quarterfinals. You can't. That cannot happen.
It was semifinals.
Semifinals. It can't
Not that,
happen.
not that that's any better. But yeah.
That can't happen. And also the blood is on the players' hands. It's on Kawhi's hands. It's on P, whatever his name is.
Paul George.
Paul George's hands. It's on
Playoff
their hands.
P.
Playoff P.
Non-playoff
They
P.
let their coach down, is what they did. They didn't stand up for their coach. And if the owner called those players and asked them about firing Doc, and Doc got fired, what does that tell you? What did those players say?
Yeah.
What did Kawhi say
That's
about Doc?
interesting.
What did Paul George say about Doc?
Go ahead, OG.
The blood's on their hands. They
I was
can't be
just
let
gonna
up.
say,
Good point.
as somebody now who's at the level where I coach professional players, like that's one of my like worst fears is that you can only do so much, and the players have to take it upon themselves to go out and represent themselves, the organization, and the team, and you look at moments like that, it's like, hell, Doc couldn't do nothing. Like, I mean, it was like, he on the sideline, he not out there on the court. And I mean, that's one of the worst feelings as a coach in general, when you see you watching your players letting games slip, you letting the series slip. They not looking inspired, they're not playing hard, and it's nothing you can do. And at the end of the day, like one of my partners had put something on Facebook last night. This made me change my whole perspective about pro coaches, because a lot of times we were saying like, man, coaching is overrated. We always blame the coach when teams lose. But he said if you can praise Brad Arbach and Phil Jackson and everybody else for the success of teams, then you got to be able to blame coaches when they don't have success. And it had never been put to me like that. And I was like, you know what, you're right. I said, hey, we got to, you got to be able to point the finger at the coach when the team is underperforming, if you're going to praise a coach for a team performing. So it's just unfortunate. I mean, I'll be having those type of thoughts all the time when we go into our matches and things of that nature. I mean, so luckily, it's been good for me the first.
I was about to say, let's hope so. Let's hope it keeps going.
Yeah.
I mean, if he was in New York, that would have happened too. If he was here, and owner puts that kind of team together, built to win a championship, and you don't even make it to the conference finals, that's hot.
And willing to spend into the luxury tax. So you got everything. Yeah. Everything's first class. So no excuses there. Speaking of not making the playoffs and having some issues there, the Sixers did make it to the playoffs. So we saw that Ben Simmons got hurt down in the bubble once again, injured there. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons once again documented not getting along. I think that Embiid did tweet something last night a little bit about trying to maybe put a little cold water on this. But, I mean, look, we've heard about this. We talked about fit. You were just talking about it, OG. I don't think it has anything to do with personalities. I think it just has to do with fit. Physically, the way that their games are. Like, Joel, look, he's a big man, but he actually wants to shoot threes. And, you got Ben Simmons. He's a 6'10", basically point forward that's got great ball skills, can't shoot, and wants to drive and play in the lane like LeBron. So has LeBron ever played with a guy like Joel Embiid? Hell no.
That's fact. That's fact.
I mean, how are they going to get along? I still think they're two tremendous, uber talented players, but is there anybody out there that can sort of, I know Ty Lue, we saw that, D'Antoni, Doc Rivers. Is it time to break these guys up? We talked about it. It's been, 3 or 4 years now. We talked about it. I said, I think me and Durham were saying, I think I give it one more year. And after that, it's like, we tried for 5 years, dog. And all we got to show for it is a conference semifinal appearance like once or twice. Oh, hell no.
I mean, if we're being honest, I just thought about it right when you said what you just said. They're not really built to win. I mean, even if you get rid of Ben Simmons, I think they're more built to win with Ben Simmons and letting Embiid go because
you can't let. My thing is, I love Ben, but you got to keep the big guy.
But no, hold on. Hear me out. Why I'm saying this is because if you look at the success of every team, they have won because of interior play, but it's different. It's more of your rebounding, setting screens, pick and roll. It's not throw down to the block and say go to work. And I think
he's not a dinosaur. He's not freaking Dwight Howard or anybody like that. He's got some skill to him. He can shoot the three. I want him to shoot less, but 7'2" that can play like that, can protect the rim, is a freaking problem.
No, I agree. No, I agree. I'm just
nobody can defend a guy 1-on-1. I like that piece, but that's
their current makeup, though. I mean, obviously that doesn't fit. I mean, I think really, unfortunately, they let it slip away. I thought still when they had Jimmy Butler, if that could have coexisted, that was probably their best shot at being one of the better teams in the East. I mean,
you still had Tobias Harris, who I think is a guy that can give you 18 to 20 points.
Yeah, I know.
They need a shooter. They need a bona fide shooter like a JJ Redick or somebody like that you can't double off of.
Right. I agree. I mean, and then too, this last point. I mean, for me, is Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. It's funny we talk about their youth. But they age like veterans when it comes to injuries and different things like that because they have missed a lot of games. I mean, to be as young as they are. I mean,
Joel's missed probably a combined 2 seasons, probably.
Yeah. So right. So it's funny that like how we talk about them. I mean, because they haven't, for them to be having issues, they haven't spent a lot of on court time together. And like we said, it really just comes down to fit. And it's going to be interesting to who you can get in there, because it is going to come to a point where they got to get a coach in there to say, look, Embiid, you got to get your ass on the block and stop shooting all these jumpers and make, do a better job of mixing it up. And then also, I mean, I think for Ben to be successful, where no matter where he goes, I mean, either he goes to a team like that's set up like LeBron sets up most of his team, where he has knockdown shooters or capable knockdown shooters, and where he can drive, penetrate, and kick. I mean, he can't, because other than that, somebody's always going to be in the way for Ben Simmons, who doesn't even show a mid-range game, let alone we're talking about threes. So
what did he attempt, like 1-3 the other, I think last year, year before last, something like that.
Right. I mean, and I mean, to me, I still laugh about it because, I mean, it's hard to talk about somebody. I never say he can't shoot, because you can't really say somebody can't.
What about
shoot.
the video we saw last summer? Remember that? I was going crazy.
They don't. I can't say he can't shoot if he don't shoot. And that's the thing. Like, he's not even putting them up.
Never make none of the shots he don't take. We know that.
Right.
How does a guy stay in the league that can't shoot?
I don't know.
Because the change of the
Rondo's
game,
like that. Well, Rondo's like that. Remember, point guard that can't shoot, but he's so good at everything else.
Whoa!
I think Rondo could. Rondo's not a liability.
Oh boy, early on in his career, oh my goodness, everybody.
Rondo got. I think Rondo got. He's like 6'4" with a tremendous wingspan. He defends the other teams.
Smartest point guard that Doc Rivers has ever coached.
Yeah, like I think he had a lot of intangibles that separate him. I think really the pace of the game is what allows Ben Simmons and those type players to stay around, because it's a faster, more up-tempo game.
Defense.
Everybody. It's defense is spurts.
He get better. He's got the ability to play defense. Hell, he's 6'10".
Yeah.
You're on the perimeter, dude. Come on. Stop playing. Kelly, get in here. Your thoughts here. Embiid and Ben Simmons. How do you see this thing being reconciled?
Can't we all just get along? Like,
no,
we're
actually,
adults.
No.
Like, I know, actually, no, but we're adults. Come on. I would love to see them be able to, figure out how to coexist, because they could have success, and you don't want to, split it up. Someone try to go somewhere else, and then it's a shit show where you are, to find out that maybe you're the problem. So work it out, guys. Like, this is a game, and if there are integral parts to piece together to make a complete team, you might have to bite the bullet in certain areas to be successful. Everybody wants to be the shooter, everybody wants to be the star, but everybody's not. So everybody has to play their part to be successful. Like, there are players in the league that would kill to be on a team that has somebody else that could match their talent, or that is super talented, and they don't ever get that opportunity. So you want to throw away the opportunity just because somebody might outshine you, or you can't find your place? Like, find your place, settle it, be grown, get this money, and get these rings and chill. Like, it stuff like that blows me. Like,
what did the other Kel say? You got what I want. I got what you need. Let's put it together. Get this money. That was the other Kel, the Kel that nobody likes. We got the real Kel.
I don't know about that tempo though.
Well, I mean, it was a little off. The rhythm wasn't very good. D-Dubs, they were talking about they're the Kobe and the Shaq. No, the hell they ain't. They ain't won anything.
Nobody's the Kobe. Stop that.
Yeah, you got to get out the conference semifinals before you can mention anything like that. Your thoughts on here? What do we do with this great duo that they have in Philly?
I'm looking more towards breaking them up, and I'm keeping the big man. I'm not letting the big guy go.
I'm leaning
with it.
So I'm going to try to shop Ben and see what I can get for him. If I can get high draft pick, maybe, see what I can do with him. Because then I also got to look at what is in my conference that I have to deal with. Boston, Toronto. What do I need to make my team better? Miami, forgot about them, which I shouldn't. But how am I going to be able to compete with those three teams? With those two guys that I have now, am I able to compete? They couldn't even get out of the lower half of the league.
Still the scariest team in the East until I haven't seen Brooklyn yet. So I put an asterisk by Brooklyn.
Right.
But just on paper, when they're healthy, I'm worried about that team, because if they ever play to their potential, they are a freaking wagon.
But are they better than a Boston? Are they better
Yes,
than a
yes,
Miami?
When they're
yes,
together, when
yes,
they're right, yes. When they're
yes.
right, the problem is they're
And the
not
reason
right a
why I'm
lot.
saying that is
Yeah, I
because
agree.
they've
I
been
think both you
competitive.
guys are right.
Yeah, they've been competitive
Mhm.
with role players.
Yeah.
Like they've I mean now of course it's been 7 to 8 seeds, but it's been role players. We haven't had a top tier player be healthy during playoff time to really see what the potential of the team is. I mean, now you're talking about having KD and Kyrie on the court. I mean, along with I think our bench and role players are significantly better than
Mhm.
everybody else's when you start adding into those key pieces. And who knows who may slip and fall on the roster. I mean, or whatever for a short stint or whatever, even in next season. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see.
But that might be a question
But
too. If you guys are always saying when they're healthy, maybe they're never healthy.
that's a
And
fair.
and at
That's a good
some
point.
Hey,
point,
That's fair.
after 4 years, 5 years, and I'm looking at a guy, dude, you always hurt.
Right.
I gotta cut you loose. I can't keep waiting for you to be healthy.
That's why you're thinking maybe you got one more year left. Remember, we talked about it a month or two ago. Like, I've got patience for maybe one more year after that. It's like, guys, you
it'll
had
be
5 years.
interesting to see.
I'm done with this.
Might
We
be a
can't keep doing
question
this.
too.
So
If you
you're
guys are
absolutely right.
always
I mean,
saying,
only time will tell. We'll see if they get the right coach in there that can, sort of, push the right buttons for Philly. Lamelo Ball, it was good to see him sort of speak up yesterday. Had a conversation. We showed it on SNY last night. Him talking about, his dad, LeVar, don't want to see him go to Golden State because doesn't want to see him come off the bench. And he's like, dude, I'm good. I can go anywhere. It's good to see that I like the fact that he says, I'm my own man. That was good to see. It's good to
yeah,
hear. I love the fact that LeVar wants to manifest the world and have everything, all the planets aligned for his kids. I got no problem with that. But I like to hear the kids say, that's my old man. Like, dude, he's over there. I ain't got nothing to do with all that. That was good to see. What are your guys' thoughts on LaMelo Ball yesterday? Being upfront, saying, look, I'm my own man. I'm my own man, and I don't care where I go. I'll go anywhere. Golden State, it can be Minnesota. I don't care.
I was
um,
extremely happy to hear this. I've waited for all of them to step out on their own. Their dad is a lot of smoke and mirrors. He is
A
all
good
about.
dad. Good dad. Got no problem with that.
I mean,
As a
I
black
don't.
man, it's good, but it's
I
like,
he
dude,
talked
stop.
too
disagree.
much.
Yeah, that's
I don't think he's a good dad. I don't think that a
Talks too
good
much.
dad would
well,
ever go in the media and talk shit about their son and their skills. Not ever. Not
yeah.
ever. Your parents, your family is your solace. That is supposed to who is supposed to cradle you, coddle you, hug you if you score 0 points or 60 points. So I think dad is out of pocket so many
Well,
times
he gets
and
out of pocket. Yeah,
looking for his shine
sure.
through his sons instead of letting them grow up, mature, and be their own people. I look at all of them and lots of decisions that they've made that's influenced by him, and
Mhm.
they all have been not great decisions. But the dad gets reaps the benefits because he's the front line of the media. It's LeVar Ball sons. It's not them standing on their own. And when you come from a family full of athletes, like you have to find your own way to stand on your own. And being under this umbrella hasn't benefited them. I'm super excited to see him step out on his own, make his own decisions, show teams that he is willing, that he is ready to come in and work for something, that he doesn't believe that he is just given something. I think that's
Perfect.
a great show of faith for coaches, GMs, anyone that's included in that. So it made me like very, very, very happy, and I was waiting for the day that all of them take the step out on their own.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the day we see all three of them on one team, which LeVar keeps talking about. OG, Durham, both of you guys are getting here for about 30 seconds. I will say this about LeVar. When I say he's a good father, I mean the fact that he was there in their lives. He did push them. You can question some of the antics and some of the things that he did, but the general thought that, look, you got to take everything that you get with him. But the fact that
So
he
a
was there,
measure of a
He
good dad is
because he
well,
was
being
there.
well,
being
no,
That's
no,
his
present.
job.
it's
I'm
not,
with you there, Darren.
it's
That's
not
the
about that.
measure.
But I'm just saying he was there. He has been a pillar in their lives, and he's sort of pushed them. Hell,
No, he's been a
That's his.
cancer. He's
well,
been a
I
cancer
mean,
Well,
in their
yeah,
I
lives.
yeah,
think
we
no,
wouldn't
but
do it
Kelly, I
that way.
think he's
I
saying
think what I'm saying,
Maybe a strep throat,
initially.
maybe
yeah,
not
look,
cancer, a
I wouldn't
strep
do it.
throat. Like,
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I would be more behind the scenes. But I see what he's doing. the intention is there. He's just doing it the wrong way. That's what I'm
He's trying
saying.
to get paid
He's,
too.
he's,
Well,
he's
Well,
sacrificing
he done
well,
his.
got paid.
well. I mean, but who do you think?
Again and
Who do you,
again and
who, do-
again.
who do you think that took him to all the practices? Who do you think that gave them all
That's
the
your
drills?
job. You
So
do
you
that.
get up
You
there.
do the same
Saying pat him
thing.
on the back. No one's saying pat him
Nobody.
on the back.
Hey,
Listen,
I'm
you
just saying.
did. You
No, I
did.
didn't. I
you
didn't say
out
that.
here
You
giving
just
I didn't
said
say
it.
Mother of the Year
Nobody.
awards.
No,
I
what I'm
get what
saying
Larry's
is I
saying.
don't
I
want
get
I
what
don't
he's
want to
saying.
kill the guy because he's a little wacky in the way that he deals with the media and he's trying to get his own.
I'm gonna kill
shine.
him. I'm gonna kill him because I
That's
feel
all.
like he
Well,
sacrificed.
I can do that, but also say I see where he's coming from. I see what he wants to do. He took three boys from freaking Compton, and what he was able to do, he does get some credit for that. Does he a whack job? Yes. Both things can be true. That's all I'm saying, guys.
He
Right.
sacrificed his family to make some money. Basically, this is all about money. The
And he's got three
brand.
boys that are playing pro basketball. I think the guy
Well,
did
first off,
okay.
first
Now we
off,
can question some of his tactics,
well,
but the guy
first
did
off,
okay.
I thought it was terrible for him to take those two boys out of school, out of UCLA, and the other boy was in high school, and send them overseas to play basketball. I
LaMelo
thought
Ball's
that
about to
was,
be a top. Hold on. LaMelo Ball's about to be a top 2 pick, dog.
and he could have been a
And
top. He could have been a top 2 pick if he would have stayed in high school, go to college, and play
I
and
mean,
how do you know
and,
that?
and
How do you know
play.
that? How do you know that?
Because if he had the skills, he had the skills.
I don't. I think that's a. I think that's a net negative. I think that's a wash, dude. He's going to be a
No,
top 2 pick, and
no.
depending on the team,
I
could be the
think
number
he.
one
You
overall
know,
pick.
we
That's
we
pretty damn
don't
good.
know, and there's a question of whether he can play.
See, that's
But
what I'm saying. Y'all get clouded
Oh.
by
because
all the
because
nonsense of
they've
LeVar Ball. Don't
they've
let that
Right,
cloud
Listen,
your
right,
judgment,
I
man.
mean,
they've always said that the youngest one was the best one.
He is.
That he was the best player.
He is.
But you're
I
still
agree.
hearing little things about him, so we have to wait and see.
What are we hearing
I'm
about him? What are
glad
we hearing about him?
his shooting. I
Oh,
don't
that's
know.
gonna improve. Look, I mean, I think he's got.
60% of the NBA can't shoot.
Well, well, Melo. I mean,
LaMelo?
no, Lonzo.
Lonzo.
Remember, he was tearing it up at UCLA, shooting 40+% from three and everything, but it was the shot. You have to change that.
Uh-huh.
LaMelo, he's got the most pure. He's got the purest shot of them all. I mean, and he's got the size too. He's freaking 6'8". The kid's got some opportunities ahead of him. He's got a shot. Don't let LeVar cloud your head.
That's what I was gonna say. My thing of it is, I think now I agree with what Larry is saying. I mean, and I've been saying that the whole time. I think what LeVar did was brought unnecessary attention to him and his kids. I think he could have played the background and still allowed them like I think Lonzo had a lot of pressure on him coming in, all because his dad was just doing all this talk.
Exactly.
He never got a shot to really like just fly under the radar, develop, and then blossom into the
that Sweet 16 game. De'Aaron Fox ripped his butt a new asshole because of his daddy.
Yeah. So I mean, but I think I personally like LeVar for the simple fact that he didn't. I mean, he did it on his own terms. I mean, we so used to the traditional, kids do this, do that. They fly under other people's systems and benefit. Those people benefit. I don't have a problem with LeVar doing whatever he done for him to get money or anything like that, because y'all know somebody is gonna make that money for off of those kids. And if anybody deserves to make the money off of the kids and everything like that, it's their parents.
It should be the family. Now, I agree with that. I just think it's the over exploitation.
Yeah.
And that it's too much. Or
Sure.
I think it sets the
what
kids
did
up.
he call his son in the media? One of them he called him. It was some derogatory about them not being good at basketball. Like, you don't need that from your dad because you can.
Well, his dad also said that he could beat Michael Jordan 1-on-1. But I mean, I just know how to put that's crazy. That's cray. And just leave it over there on the side of cray.
Yeah, but it ain't your dad. Like, you can open up Twitter and read 100 negative comments. None of them should come from your own dad.
That's true. That's true.
Now, I think
both things are true. That's what I'm saying.
The day and time generated a lot of that. I mean, the world is more in the juicy stuff and all the extra entertainment beyond just the sport. So I think he got caught up in the hype and everything like that. I mean, and I'm not saying that that's right, but it happened. But I will say on the top of, because at the end of the day, I mean, if LeVar don't push those kids to do what they did from the beginning, who knows if we'd even be talking about them right now? I mean, I think I think initially that was the part that Larry was saying is like, he cultivated those
He
boys
did.
into
He did.
becoming what they became. I mean, the difference, like for me, like I coached my daughter from sixth grade to like 10th grade. And then at 10th grade, I said, you know what? It's time for me to leave. Because now it's like, it's it's different. Like I just want to be dad, but I can't just be dad if I'm coaching her. So I went back to coaching boys and left her and let her blossom on her own. So I can just come to the game and be her dad. And like I like what Kelly said is that your family has to be that strong circle for you.
Yeah, it's gotta be your foundation. Yeah.
If she had a bad game and I was on the sideline, I'm all in up in her. Like, but if I'm just dad and I come to the game and she have a bad game, now I'm lifting her up
Just
and
uplifting.
everything like that. More so than bashing her. So or what may be perceived as that at the moment, of course. But so I definitely get it from that point. I mean, I think LeVar, I hate it because I'm a Lonzo fan. Me and Rico, I'm telling you, Larry, me and Rico go back and forth about Lonzo all the time. And I think because he just says Lonzo was trash and everything like that. And I'm
Oh.
saying he didn't really get the chance to like fly under the radar and
Mhm.
blossom as other players get to do. Because we see a lot of incoming college players that are supposed to be all this and all that, and they flop. And then 5 or 6 years later, they're at the level where we thought they were that we knew they would be. And I think Lonzo never got that. And I'm glad LaMelo said something because I think he's going to be good no matter where he goes. I mean, fortunately for him, I mean that length and that height and
6'8".
everything, he shot up out of nowhere. Like
Mhm.
nobody would have thought that he was going to be this tall, lanky, and with the skill set that he has. And I think, shoot, he got to. I mean, like I said, I don't think no matter where he goes, somebody's going to benefit from it.
Yeah, I agree. Well said by all three of you guys all around. Let's talk. Speaking around, let's go around the horn here, around the bases, around the diamond. Major League Baseball playoffs underway today. I like it. 16 teams. Get to watch a little baseball, talk a little baseball. It was good. It was early. See some games on at like 2 o'clock. I was watching the White Sox and the A's. Got your pinstripers playing the Indians right now. I
Right.
like it. 8 teams in each league. I like the fact that we have the DH. I hope it comes back next year. Baseball, if you're listening, I understand the tradition. It's like, no, hell, they didn't even want wild card teams. This is great, man. Now they do have to go up against the NBA Finals and the NFL, but they'll get their time to shine. And I love this. It's good for baseball, guys. That we got 16 teams in it right now. Your thoughts here, and who do you think will win it? I still think the Dodgers are the best team. And in the American League, I don't know, man. I tell you, Cincinnati scares me too in the National League. They got good pitching. I think that could be the one team that can sort of upset the Dodgers. But we'll see about that. And then the AL, probably got to go. Probably got to go Rays, man. Right now they look
Rays.
the best.
Yeah,
What do you guys think?
The Rays have definitely been a pain in
Mhm.
my side the last month, beating up on my Yankees. And already today we saw the White Sox won 4-1 against the
Yep.
A's.
Uh-huh.
Astros won as well. They beat the Twins 4-1. Yankees are up 3-0 right now. I can't see what
Yeah,
inning
they're
they're
three.
in.
Wow.
Um,
That's against
it's
Bauer too, right?
It's bottom of the third.
Against
uh,
Bauer
bottom
too,
of the
right?
I
third.
actually have it on my screen right now.
Okay, yeah. So yeah,
With the new setup, I saw it.
it's a good time right now because when you look at the NHL, they finished. You're looking at MLB, they're at the finish line as well. So,
Yep.
and they had a ton of things they had to deal with COVID, and we didn't know if we were going to make it, if the teams were going to make it, and they finally are at
They had about 50 games at the miss, 40
yeah,
something games. So I think if you'd have told me that coming in, I'm like, hey, take it.
yeah. So, my mom called me today. My mom is in West Palm, Florida. She loves baseball.
She does?
So, yeah, she loves
Who's her team?
baseball.
Who's her
The
team?
Mets. She loves the Mets.
Oh,
Diehard Mets fan.
tell her
So
we're sorry.
yeah, but but even
Tell
though
her
the
we
Mets
got
are
that
not in
Steve.
there,
Tell her we got that Stevie Cohen money coming in though.
okay,
12
yeah,
Billy.
she just loves to see baseball. So she called me today. The game is on. The game is on. She's just happy. So
Yeah.
she gets to watch a little baseball. So I'm happy, and hopefully the Yankees can do something. They can make some noise in the playoffs. But the Rays are real tough.
Yeah, I agree. Kelly, your thoughts, Major League Baseball playoffs. You like the format, 16 teams. Who you got? Who's gonna play in the fall classic?
So I like the setup, but what makes me even happier is like baseball brings around like a feeling of nostalgia. It's like America's pastime. It's a happier sport. So just to have it on TV and to have it persevere through so much, have all sports on TV, is exciting. I like the Rays. I'm a Yankees fan. I don't even know how that happened. I just grew up one. Like one day I was like, I like the Yankees. And
Smart
so
girl.
yeah, I mean, I've been called worse. So, um, um, I just want to see good games. Like that has been my focus of football, but I mean, baseball. But the Rays are tough. They're
Amazing.
a thorn in everyone's side.
Mhm.
But also with baseball, you can never count out anyone just because the game changes
Well, the
so
three-game
rapidly.
series, that's
Yeah,
scary.
that's
If you're a
scary and
team
it's
like the
completely
Dodgers or
different.
somebody, that's like losing over the weekend and you're
That's
gone.
it.
That's
That's it.
tough.
The Dodgers
So
have been like the Clippers the last couple of years,
they
so
have.
I ain't crowning the Dodgers.
Bloop, bloop.
That's true. I'm also rooting for the White Sox. Tim Anderson, a brother, my son, one of his favorite players. They got the win today. They beat Oakland, right? 4-1. They were up 3-0 last time I saw.
Yes,
So
4-1.
I'm rooting for those. So Giolito pitched today. So I'm rooting for the White Sox too as well to get Tim Anderson some shine. He Cadillacs it, got a little swag about him, and he's black. So I'm definitely rooting for the White Sox, the pale hose there. Stanley Cup, you were just talking about Tampa. The Lightning Bolts, the Tampa Bay Lightning, won the Stanley Cup, beat the Stars last night, 4 games to 2. Best team in hockey over the last 4 or 5 years, finally able to break through after being upset in the playoffs. Did it basically with one of their top players not even playing. Steven Stamkos wasn't even available for the most of the year during the playoff run anyway. They were the best team, had no problem with it, and the best team won. It was that simple. Bubble or no bubble, the Tampa Bay Lightning were the best team in hockey. Although the Bruins had the President's Cup, I
Yeah.
still would have said what would have been if they would have had their number one goalie if he didn't opt out. But
Mm.
the one team that I was afraid of was Tampa. And the Boston Bruins have been lucky the last few years. They didn't have to play Tampa. So there's that.
Well, what a time to be in Tampa right now. I wish I was a reporter in Tampa. You
What,
got
Tampa Bay?
yeah, Tampa Bay. You got Tom Brady. Now you got
Hmm.
another Stanley Cup final. The Rays are looking good.
Yep.
Nice time to be in Tampa, but
They don't
that's
deserve it.
A little Ybor City on
Exactly.
yeah.
They don't deserve it.
There's a little New England hate there. Why don't
Yeah.
they deserve it?
No, they don't go to the games. They don't go to the games. They're
That's
fair
true.
weather down there. So
Who
yeah,
Yeah.
they
doesn't
deserve
go
it.
to the games?
Oh, Florida fans, all of them, all the pro
You
teams.
a lie. Every Tampa game, they be lit in Tampa for
What,
for
what, what,
football games.
what? For, have you, I've been to Raymond James Stadium when it was more than half empty.
Really?
Oh yeah,
I've been to it when it's like
oh yeah,
super packed and it's hot as hell and they're standing
girl,
over there by that ship and they're drinking and there's lots of, you know, people being drunk.
girl.
I don't do that.
You have not seen Jacksonville and Miami and
Oh no,
Tampa
I seen
like I've
Jacksonville
I
done. I
now.
believe
mean,
Now
Miami.
I seen Jacksonville.
I've seen many people disguised as empty seats in all three of those stadiums. So,
Especially
and don't let
Jacksonville.
me get started with the Marlins, and don't let me get started with the Rays either. Good baseball team. They don't spend any money, but they're always in the hunt. No one goes to their games. Yeah, they're fair weather fans in Florida. Yeah, that's the truth. But it's good to see. Anybody else got anything on the boats? Seeing the Tampa Bay Lightning win last night. I think they
Got it.
won what 2-0, right? Shutout.
Yeah, it's 2-0 shutout. Goalie Andre Valesky standing
Yeah.
on his head, getting the getting the shutout. I
That's the term.
mean, yeah. The second Stanley Cup since 2004. So
Yep. First in
yeah,
16 years.
yeah, it's awesome, awesome. Congratulations to those guys.
All right, let's move it along. OBJ, talk a little esports here. Doctor Disrespected. Anyone watch the YouTube feed last night?
I saw some of it.
Love to hear about that. No, look, I mean, Doctor Disrespect, basically saying no disrespect, but I ain't doing nothing on Twitch. So they did it on YouTube on their own channels. Your thoughts, man, on the good doctor and OBJ getting together last night? Were they playing some modern warfare or some COD? What the hell were they
Yeah,
playing last
Call
night?
of Duty.
A
Okay.
Call of Duty, yeah, yeah, yeah. I watch. I'm not a Call of Duty guy, but I know how popular that game is.
Yep.
I just probably I sucked at it, so I
Me
don't really
too.
play it.
First person shooter in me, like I
Yeah,
just can't.
it's
Look at you with your
yeah.
I
esports
play
knowledge.
games. I
You play
play,
games?
yeah, but
You
I
play
just
more
can't like
games than I play. That's for sure.
yeah, I can't do it. Like I
And
get dizzy. It's a lot.
just watching the two of them play together was kind of fun. And that's really all you need. You put a celebrity like OBJ on there, and
Sure.
people are gonna view it. And I saw they were like playing together. They were in a helicopter, and then the helicopter was on fire. They had to jump out of the copter, and then, just that warfare. It was really cool to watch them. Actually, my son and I watched for about 5 or 10 minutes, a little bit of it, because it was a long stream. But I can see why people would tune in because I was kind of hooked into it, even though I don't play the game.
How many people were watching? Any numbers on it?
That I'm not sure of the
No,
numbers.
I got the number. I think Dr. Disrespect had it like up to 300,000
Damn, that's good.
views
That's
on it, and
strong.
then even Odell, I think he was around 88,000.
That's strong.
It was,
Whew.
yeah. I mean, pretty good. I think Twitch. I read something where I know it still was the ongoing thing about Twitch or whatever, but they had came up with a new disclaimer or something like that, stating that if you had somebody in your stream, because I think Nate Shot and Dr. Disrespect crossed paths in Warzone, and
Who
it
the hell
was
is that? Explain that. I'm sorry. Who are these
uh,
people?
another big time streamer.
Okay, do they have some beef?
No beef,
Okay.
but what it is that since he's had the whole ban thing with Twitch, is that they basically was stating that if you had somebody who basically was banned or had any issues with Twitch and they were in your stream, that you were going to be liable for them, being in your stream or whatever. So
Why on Twitch or on YouTube?
on Twitch,
On
not
Twitch,
Oh,
YouTube.
Twitch.
Twitch. I
Yeah,
was like,
Twitch.
I can
Nate,
Twitch say,
yeah,
like,
Nate
okay.
Nate Shot is the head of 100 Thieves.
Yeah, 100 Thieves.
Yeah, yep.
Damn. Your thoughts, Kelly. Want to get your thoughts? How did it go? Did you watch any of it? You were reading anything here, hearing about anything about it? What do you think
So I
about
didn't
these
watch
celebrities getting
it.
together?
I didn't watch it live, but I saw some clips from it. Odell is dynamic. People want to watch him. So I think that it's a great, great, great marketing thing to bring in these stars, to push the esports, to meld the stuff together. I think that it's amazing. Some of the clips were really funny. The shit talking was fun. So I think it's great. I think they need to keep it up. There's so many stars from so many different sports and genres. Let's get some women from the W in there.
Oh,
Spice
our
it up,
girl
have
Ariel
fun.
Powers. She's doing something with the NBA 2K
Oh,
League.
is she?
Yeah,
See,
NBA 2K tournament. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
see, yeah, I think it's gonna be wildly
Women's only, right?
successful.
OG, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's all women's
Uh-huh.
NBA 2K tournament.
Yep, absolutely.
And the one thing I want to add to it, just about the influence, Odell, OBJ. I mean, he influences all the kids. I mean, my son is a big time Beckham fan, and the funny thing about it is, I bought him a jersey like some years ago for either his birthday or Christmas, and he had it. He wear it a lot, and he plays middle linebacker. My son is like a headhunter. Like, I mean, the typical middle linebacker, but he still finds his time that like always screaming about Odell. And I'm like, man, you don't even play receiver, like, or anything like that. And I was just thinking like the influence, like everybody like regardless sometimes of what he does on the field or whatever, like the kids love him. Like, I mean, so it's great to see him, and he's serious about this, about becoming and getting in the game and streaming and stuff like that. So, I mean, I imagine there's gonna be more to watch, coming soon.
Yeah, good stuff. D-Dubs, I knew I could count on you, and I knew I could count on OG and Kelly, because you know me. I was like, all right, it's a good story. Hopefully they can fill everybody in, because I know I can't fill in anything on this. So
Hey, you guys, I don't know. I saw at the beginning of the stream, I see in the game the soldiers walking with the hyena. That's what caught me. Did anybody see that?
what is that?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a like, I've never been good at the shooting games.
Yeah.
Ever. So like, but I watch people play them. Like, I watch Swag and different people at that stream. And I mean, he, obviously he plays at the high level. I mean, but I just like, I've never like been good at it. So I just watch other people play. But yeah, that scene is nasty. Like, that whole beginning scene is nasty.
Okay. Yeah, because if I played, I'd get everybody killed.
Right. Yeah,
Probably.
They'd be screaming and hollering at me. Like,
Good stuff. Madden Championship Series. You had until yesterday to sign up for the club series. Well over $250,000 on the line for the first of the four Madden Championship Series events throughout the year. Also, you got Tuesday night, King of the Hill, Derwin James, Derwin's World, or James World, whatever they want to do. What is it called? Derwin James World? Is it just Derwin's World, or Derwin James World? Derwin James versus the World, I believe, is what it is. Presented by Oakley. I think he had Hootie and the Bluefish, right? Darius Rucker tonight, right? Coming on at 9 o'clock.
Yep.
Oh.
Who did?
It is. Oh wow.
It is Darius Rucker. Yeah, he had Quavo last week and Little Baby the week before that. So I think Pavon is playing somebody. Who is he playing? Clef the God or somebody for $6,000 tonight?
Yes.
So yeah, EA trying to do some things. We'll talk about FIFA tomorrow, the global series that they're doing with some some celebrities and influencers and things of that nature. So I like it. It's cool, man, to see what they're doing with Madden and trying to bring in different culture and different audiences. And when I was there, when I was voicing the game, they talked about Madden being and becoming a lifestyle. So this is something I think that they can sort of point to as one of the the pillars that they stand for. So it's good to see what they're doing there. And anybody got anything else to add to that? Probably not, huh?
I like Derwin James. I like hearing my name.
Well, I mean, they're actually lucking out, but they would have been okay because Tuesdays are NFL players' day off anyway. But
Right.
back to Odell, he said he's going to start streaming Mondays and Tuesdays now, right? Tuesdays is always a normal day off. Mondays typically you don't
Monday
practice,
Night
you just
Football.
you have treatment and things of that nature. So
Odell's
uh,
gonna make a way.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people hitting that stream. To me, Odell is, even though he's a grown man, to me, he's still a big kid at heart.
Yeah.
Most of
So
them are.
yeah.
Well,
I
so
mean,
what
Doctor Disrespect is really grown. So
he's a big dude too. He's like 6'8", right?
yeah, but he's yeah, he's in his 40s. Like,
Yeah.
no one's you could pick up the sticks. You ain't too old, man.
You definitely can in
Yeah.
your 40s.
Yeah.
You definitely
Yeah.
can.
I do. I pick up the sticks. I just don't
Yes.
play Call of Duty.
Well, I'm saying I'll be 42 in December, so I'm gonna do.
Yeah, so ain't no.
Look at you.
I'll be
Yeah.
44 next week. I'm not picking up sticks. Too late. Pass me by.
It ain't never too late.
Nah, it's not too late, bro.
It's too late. It's never too late to go back to school, but it's too late for
When
Larry.
that when that shmoney calls, it's never too late, man.
Well, see, ain't no
Bloop.
money call. Ain't no money call. Somebody want to watch me play video games and give me money? I'll do it.
There you go.
But you're gonna watch some bad gameplay too. I don't even know what buttons. What do you got? Triangle.
And
square?
that's the thing, Larry. I was
We
about
got
to
80
say.
buttons?
I was gonna say it's like it's great that these celebrities are playing,
Yeah.
but it ain't gonna last too long if these celebrities are bad at the game.
Right.
Trash. Yeah.
You gotta be decent.
Unless you like T-Pain.
Yeah, you got
Now, you got
entertain,
everybody-
put on the show. Yeah,
You
yeah,
have
yeah.
the chat rocking. Like,
That's
good
that's the that's only
I,
take it so
no,
far,
I
man.
get what you're saying, kid.
Yeah, you can't suck, man.
Well,
Look, this is the thing though. For the enthusiasts, you can't suck. For the casuals, you can suck if you can.
yeah, I was about to say, if you're just chatting and you're just entertaining, yeah, you can suck.
Yeah. I know some big time streamers that they're not great at the games they play, but they're damn sure entertaining.
That's,
That-
yeah,
Oh,
if
no,
you
yes,
have that
yes.
entertainment value, yes, like you gotta come, like you gotta have the star power. You gotta be talking about some shit, some stuff that people want to talk about and hear about. Like there has to be something, if you suck,
Yeah, I'm
or
all
even
for
if you're
entertainment.
mediocre.
Yeah, you better be entertaining. You better have good
Yeah.
personality
Right.
and all that stuff. So yeah, we'll see.
There's
Oh,
a
real
lot of
quickly.
guys on Facebook that I see that I follow because they're entertaining. They're funny. They're like a lot of lower level comedians that I follow.
Comedians.
Well, I mean, like, there's a lot of guys. Now I'm drawing a blank. But there's a lot of guys on Facebook that I follow that are just funny. That they're not, they're not on TV every day.
Agreed.
Kelly Wells
Right.
Brinkley, she's one of them. Kelly Wells. Brinkley.
First of all, ain't nothing lower level about me.
No, I
Just
said
in
funny.
case.
like a country Wayne. I don't know if you
Country
ever-
Wayne, Kev on
Country-
stage.
Yes, those guys. They're funny
Okay,
Oh,
guys.
okay,
I
yeah,
love Desi Banks. I love Desi. He
Oh,
is
it's the guy
so
from Atlanta.
comfy and- yeah, he is
We did a live
hilarious.
video.
he
Atlanta,
had
yeah.
shot himself in the foot one time this year,
Yeah.
but I think
In real life?
no.
Oh, I was like, did I miss that?
No, a statement that he had made on Twitter or something like that. And
Ooh.
they drug him through the mud for a minute, but
Lord.
Well, you
It'll
got the
get you
Twitter
every
trolls out
time.
there, I know. Compete forever on Black News Channel this weekend. We're gonna get out here in the next 30 seconds. Episode 18, Black News Channel 7. No, episode 18, Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern. It's the Foxwoods Madden Fall Series Championship. Yeah, we give away tickets to VIP tickets, free parking, free hotel stay, free VIP tickets, parking, and they got to meet some players on the field, and also they got a suite to watch the game. Two ladies from New Hampshire. $2,000 on the line. Top 6 players for the fall series getting together. Some really good games. So check it out Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully, we'll make an announcement either tomorrow or Thursday about the league we're going to start. We got a new sponsor coming on board. We're going to do the league We're gonna
Oh
put it on
yeah.
TV on Black News Channel, so that should be good. And hopefully we can get something with NBA 2K a little bit later down the road. But we're gonna start that. Probably got to get D Dubs in the league. Just let him play so he can kind of give us a recap every week. What do you think? We gotta put aside a spot for Durham, all right?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yes,
Let's go.
I think so.
absolutely.
So we're only going to need 31 players. We're not going to need 32 owners.
Wait,
So
wait,
Daryl,
wait. I'm on too. I'm on gonna play too.
I'm on. No, I'm on. Will play.
He
Yeah,
was
I'm on.
in it. Yo,
Yeah,
he stuck
he
out.
did. He
You
did.
know, I was proud of him. You know what I'm saying? You know?
He was
Let's get
proud
out
of
of
him.
here. Kelly's got to tend to some family business. You okay, Kelly? We're gonna let you get out of here. Turn your mic on, girl.
He's
It's a
trying to
family
kill
show.
me today.
Who
Like
is his son?
literally. Yes. The
Why,
little one
why is he
trying to
doing
kill me.
that? Does he
I
understand
don't.
like that? He came from you, like you created him. Does he understand that?
Yes, and that's why he thinks he's entitled to all of me all the time.
All the time. Got it. Got it. All right. Let's get out of here, guys. Throw up the A. We don't want Kelly hurt.
Definitely don't.
Throw it up. Throw it up.
Oh,
Throw it
I
up.
won't be the one hurt.
Two time. Two
Good
time.
stuff, guys. Thanks for watching Esports Extra, the only live call-in sports show talking traditional sports and esports. We'll see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, right back here on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Have a great night. So long from the tri-state area, Brooklyn, H-Town, and Ohio. We'll see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. Bye.